college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who's been known from time to time to take it to the streets. When it comes to punctuality, he usually only responds with like a one-word phrase, which is "Yamo be there." Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. I can't believe we're not in March anymore. How are you?
Brother, how are we in Q2? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did we get here? It's been a blur. I'm doing good though. We're surviving day by day. How you doing?
I mean, we're surviving. We're not exactly thriving. I don't know what day it is anymore. My fiance's got terrible allergies. I don't get any sleep. And this is false start.
That you know what? That's what powers this here program.
And if you feel bad for us or good for us, please give us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Really helps the show grow.
Donate on Buzzsprout always.
Donate on Buzzsprout. I gotta, buy some tissues and other things. I don't know, plane tickets.
Something.
Uh,
You got to buy something.
you got to buy something. And before we begin here, obviously, fall started here. You got to Euro check yourself before you back yourself. We had a
Mhm.
few changes to the college football playoff selection committee. Gus Malzahn, Jeff Tedford, and something called Brian Maggard are joining the selection committee. Hunter Yurchek's going to retain committee chair for another year. Um, but Malzahn, Tedford, and Maggard are replacing former Nevada head coach Chris Ault, longtime AD Jeff Long of Kansas, Arkansas, and Miami, Ohio, athletic director David Sawyer. So um, obviously it's all about like Gus Malzahn. Like, what does he know about making the college football playoff? I mean, like it's about like asking you and I, like, what do we know about barbecue? I think we know like we like eating it.
Yeah, it's very good. Gus Malzahn, would love to be in the college football playoff one day for sure. I mean, I would pay money to see Gus Malzahn in one of those meetings. Like I can assure you of that. Like just sitting over a bracket being like, let's get it going, boys.
He goes over there, he channels his what like mid 90s Arkansas Christian school stuff, pulls out a Betamax.
Oh my God. I've got all the film we need right here, boys.
It's just not gonna help us at all.
Where do you even get a player for this? What are you doing?
Nick usually has one. Well, he's not here. Oh man.
Oh
Um,
man, that's tough. I guess I'll just go vibes.
yeah, so like some of the other people in the committee are still there. Apparently Randall McDaniel's still in it. Let's see who else is in this thing. Scrolling down. Mark D'Antonio apparently is on the committee.
Hell yeah.
Troy Dannon, the AD at Nebraska. Mark Harlan, the AD at Arkin or at Utah. Ivan Mizell, columnist. Um, let's see, Mike Riley, Wesley Walls, and Carla Williams, AD at Virginia. So there's just a lot of stuff going on here, man. I'm just
All the stuff feels like it really matters who you know in this business because that's what that list tells me. Like none of those guys are particularly qualified to do what they're being asked to do, but here they are.
the thing is like, I mean, thank God we have Juracek back for like another year because at least he's done this before.
Yes.
Granted, because what the Baylor guy, Mac Rhodes, just couldn't get it together. Because
No.
like just looking at this list of people, man, like the only guy who knows anything about the playoffs, Mark D'Antonio, and he was about getting his ass kicked in the playoff.
He's like, I know a team that'll lose by 30 in the playoff, and this team would lose by 30 in the playoff.
It's so mean, but it's so true. But I think it just kind of goes to show that I hope that the 12 team playoff this year, like, there's not going to be any sort of major deliberation because I don't think this group's going to get it right.
No, I like I can if you want me to play devil's advocate, maybe like the fact that these guys aren't like super familiar like with being in the playoff, participating in the playoff, maybe that helps to some degree because you're not going to overthink stuff. Like you're not going to the hope would be like a group of that like a built of these kind of people. You're not going to go into it with like preconceived biases or like Notre Dame's the type of team that could win in the playoff. Like you don't know what's going to win in the playoff. You've never done it. And like, like just like looking at teams from like an objective lens of who are the 12 most like deserving or qualified teams to be in this college football playoff. And like that's the hope of what would happen. And like going back to last year's playoff, like they did a I wasn't too up like yes, we had the Miami Notre Dame controversy, but like I think they got it right in the end with what they did. So like I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess, but like just looking at the names of the collection of people, it's very funny.
Yeah, you bring up a good point here. Like they'll think about it logically. They'll play checkers and not chess, where they're not gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna keep Notre Dame ahead of them until the very end." Like we had that happen twice. We had that happen with TCU
Mhm.
beating Iowa State by 60, and they dropped 3 spots. They don't make it in there because they don't have a Big 12 championship. It was so dumb. They made it back a couple of years later, won a game, and got their ass kicked by Georgia. This is false start, but that's okay.
Hey, they did
Um,
win a game though. Like most people's lasting memory is the Georgia game. Let's not forget they did make it to the national championship game.
and that was the moment I was out on JJ McCarthy completely.
Right.
But I think it's funny, like you're bringing all these people in here who think that they know the sport. Like you might as well have Kurt Russell going to Imagination Land. It's like you were kind of in this movie that was like this once. That's Gus Malzahn. Come on, boys, let's go.
Come on, boys. Let's bring it down, boys. No, like it I I feel like Gus Malzahn is also like and I mean this like seriously. We're gonna joke about this throughout the year, of course, but like I do think Gus Malzahn does provide some benefit in terms of Gus Malzahn's not awful in front of a camera, and like having Hunter Yurachek and then having Gus Malzahn to kind of be figureheads when ESPN needs an interview on the show or like whenever something like someone else needs an interview. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because the one thing I trust Gus Malzahn to do is to say a bunch of words that say nothing. And that's what you
Yes,
need from this type of person.
that's absolutely true. And I'm just gonna say, because I think it's in the back of your mind too. I don't think there's any way Jeff Tedford's gonna do every single game for this. He's gonna piece out like Archie Manning. Just
Oh,
like
100%. He's gonna get like one rankings and he's be like, that's a bit much. I'm gonna head on out
I want to,
now.
and then they're gonna insert like God, I don't even know. Former coach. Bring Gundy in, man.
God.
uh, Gundy and Gus.
Oh, now that's what I actually need. That's a sitcom I need to see.
You know how like every CBS sitcom or not sitcom like a cop show is like Police Cop, CBS, 75 million viewers. Like
Yeah.
they'll do one like based in like Oklahoma or Arkansas, like Little Rock PD. And it's Gus and it's Gundy.
Oh God, they actually never leave the burger shop or the coffee shop.
Wait, are you telling me that turtle's alive? Yeah, it's Gator, man. Just chill.
Have you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I was my impressions of what I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is about, it would be this.
Yeah, so there's two I'm totally blanking on their names right now, but there's two like older cops that like their whole role is they're awful at their jobs and like that would be Gundy Gundy and Malzahn at this.
You know, that tracks. I get it. And like midway through, through the selection process, Gus Malzahn's going to turn to Hunter Yurachek and say, "Let's put a dude on a team, bro."
Damn right. Damn right.
Let's put two blue chippers on NFL teams for today's exercise because the draft's coming up and I'm going to be in a foreign country. Let's do a Oregon tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, and then Tennessee cornerback Jermod McCoy, who
Mhm.
apparently isn't hurt no more.
Yeah, ran a 4.38 at his pro day, which I mean, even if you like use the pro day inflation scale, he's probably still running in the 4.4s coming off a torn ACL. So that's a good sign for the young man.
100%. So let's look over here. The way that this works for the viewers at home is Cody and I will each say three different teams. We'll whittle it down to one, and that's where this player is going to go. We've done this with we did this with CJ Allen,
Mesidor, we did it with
Mesidor.
Mesidor and Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, we thought about CJ Allen for a while, but that's been pushed back a bunch. But
Yeah,
he's going to the Bucks. Who cares?
yeah, 100%.
All right, who's your first team for Kenyon Sadiq, the talented tight end out of Oregon?
I keep looking at the Ravens for Kenyon Sadiq, man, and like the Ravens have taken so many bites at the apple when it comes to like trying to draft wide receivers in the first round, and like Zay Flowers is the biggest success that they've had with that, but I still wouldn't call him like a true number one option, and like it feels like one of the things that's holding this offense back. And Sadiq's obviously not a wide receiver, but you just lost Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews is not getting any younger. And I think he's the type of like physical presence that, and I mean, let's be clear about this. Like he's a tight end by name because he's enormous, but like he's not like he's Kyle Pitts. Like he's a
Yes.
receiver in a tight end's body, essentially.
I had the Ravens on the list as well, but for similar reasons, you got to replace likely Mark Andrews isn't a spring chicken anymore. You have the opportunity to get Kyle Pitts light there. Might as well do it if he's available. Try to do something, anything with Lamar Jackson in the postseason. That would be really cool.
Yep.
My first team I want to throw out here, I'm gonna go with a team that needs something. I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers.
Dude, I like the Panthers a lot. They were probably my first cut for my three.
My thought is you gotta know if Bryce Young is the guy.
Hmm.
And you fiddle farted around and you don't really know yet. You won a division, but like Blake Bortles went to an AFC championship game.
Right.
Trent,
Weird stuff happens in the NFL sometimes, man.
yeah, Trent Dilfer went to a Pro Bowl and a Super Bowl. I mean, Stan Humphries is the only Chargers quarterback to get to the Super Bowl. Like we live in this. Um,
Peyton Manning won one of his few Super Bowls when his neck didn't work. So like,
that's absolutely true. But yeah, the Panthers just need more talent because let's be real, I think Atlanta is more talented in them.
Mhm,
I think Tampa was, and I think New Orleans is surging. The
mhm.
division's going to be very close. If you nail your first round pick, this basically keeps everybody else off your tail in the NFC South.
No, I like the Panthers a lot. And like you kind of one of the things with Panthers, because I've looked like doing mock drafts, like I've looked at wide receiver for them as well. And like it's one of those things where none of the wide receivers outside of Mekhi Lemon, who I think comes off the board before 19 when the Panthers pick, make a yeah, slithery little snake, the Mekhi Lemon that he is.
Yeah.
But like I think he comes off the board well before 19. And like when you're looking at Jordan Tyson or you're looking at Carnell Tate or you're looking at Denzel Boston, like there's a lot of redundancies with what Tet McMillan does, or excuse me, Tetaroa. I always forget he doesn't like being called Tet, but what Tetaroa McMillan does for them. So like, I think Kenyon Sadiq's someone that diversifies that a little bit.
Yeah. Greg Olson started there. I think that when you have a
Mhm.
tight end, it usually works in the division pretty good. So I would go in that direction. What's another team you got?
I'm gonna stay in the division. I'm gonna go with the Bucks actually. I know that defense is getting a lot of love in terms of mock drafts and projections. Don't know if you heard they lost Mike Evans this offseason. And I like their young core of receivers when you're talking about Egbuka and McMillan, and then you've got Chris Godwin still there. But Kate Otton's still your tight end, and you don't have a proven commodity the way that Mike Evans was, a red zone threat the way that Mike Evans was. Sadiq could be that for them.
Yeah, I had the Buccaneers as one of my contenders for that as well, for similar reasons.
And I mean, to your point with the NFC South, like when you have a strong tight end, it tends to be a very good thing for what you're building there.
Yeah, whether you've got Jimmy Graham, Greg Olson, Tony Gonzalez, it usually works
Yeah.
out. You can even have like Algie
I
Crumpler or
was about to
something.
say, Algie, don't dismiss your boy Algie Crumpler.
No, our crossover, brother. That's what we need. I'm gonna go with a team that usually drafts pretty well. They know the position pretty good. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Ah, that's my third one. That's my third one I had there.
Okay, so the Eagles were the third one you had there. And then the other team I had just to round it out here was the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. I mean, and that would make sense.
Just because well, the Chiefs have what 9 and like 22 or something.
29, I think, but
Yeah,
I expect the Chiefs to move around quite a bit with those two picks.
but it's like these are teams that know the position. Like I would trust them to figure that out with their well-run front offices, whether that's Howie Roseman or Brett Veach. Like they'll figure it out.
Yeah, and in the Eagles case, like there's been talk of moving on from Dallas Goddard for like 2 years now. So like at some point, like you need to get the transition plan in place because you don't have one, despite the fact that you're moving on from Goddard.
Right. So the 5 teams we got comparing for them because we had too much overlap. I think that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good thing because we're seeing the board very clearly.
Okay, so between the Ravens, Panthers, Buccaneers, Eagles, and Chiefs, who do we cross off first?
I think I think my first cross off is the Chiefs, just because I think they have more pressing needs that they know what they are. Like I think that getting the defense right, I think is their top priority more than anything else.
I would probably cross them off as well. I think the big thing is like you had your worst year in 15 years since Andy Reid came over. Like
Yeah.
you can't take a tight end like that
No.
realistically.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I was very anti them taking Jeremiah Love when that was a thing that was being floated out. Like you finally get a top 10 pick and you're gonna take a running back with it. Like, okay, like that doesn't seem like the smartest idea.
I'm gonna cross the Eagles off next just
Mhm.
because I feel like there could be other needs to be had. Maybe he's off the board before then,
Yeah.
but like it's in their nature to take him, but like they're whatever you think they're gonna do, they're gonna do the exact opposite.
100%. And like they're also the king, like they draft so well because they take what the board gives them. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like if someone like a Akeem Mesidor were to follow them, I could see them doing that because they're like, hey, like clearly the most talented edge rusher in this like in this range is falling to us. Great, we'll take him.
It's doing great. You can be on our team. So
Yeah.
we've got the Ravens, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers as the three finalists for Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. Which one do we cross off next?
I'm gonna cross off the Ravens, and my reasoning's a little suspect. Um, but I do think there is something to it. You just hired Jesse Minter, a big time defensive head coach, and this defense has fallen off in years past. I think they probably throw him a bone and get him a big defensive piece at 14.
That would make sense there. I would also kind of lean like if a receiver's there, you may end
Yeah.
up going in that direction there too. There's doubt there.
And
There's
like
is
if Tyson's there, like I much prefer that to Sadiq.
and between the Panthers and Buccaneers, I'm leaning Carolina here
Yeah.
because with the Buccaneers, you got to like again, you have to replace Mike Evans, and you also got to replace Levante David.
Mhm.
So, and even though Kate Otton's not them, he's still there.
He is a guy that they do have on the no. The more we talked out Carolina, the more I felt really good about that. I think that's like I think that's the like perfect range for where he should be going based on talent and a lack of production to some degree at Oregon, and also someone who just fits what the Panthers need to be doing right now.
100%. So, congratulations, Kenyon Sadiq. You are going to the Carolina Panthers.
Hell yeah,
What a,
brother.
hell yeah, brother. Love that. Love that for you. All right, Jermod McCoy.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Hopefully, we don't have immediate overlap. If not, we'll make it work. Who's the first team you want to put him on?
My Dallas Cowboys.
I
However,
had a feeling.
I would like to push back on the idea because I've seen him mocked to the Cowboys at 12 like 100 times. That makes me want to die. But if you get him at 20, I'm very happy with that.
Cowboys were on my list as well. I'm like 12 is a little high. And honestly, I kind of think Shotty's kind of got it figured out for against all odds, believe it or not.
I really like Brian Schottenheimer. I really do. I don't there are many problems with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Shotty's one of them.
I didn't hate him his 1 year at Georgia, but it was just like Mark Rick was just cooked at that point.
Yeah, I mean, when the steak's ever done, no one really cares about the sides.
Or the asparagus in the Jerry Pruitt's case. That's the what is that?
What's that smell?
All right. My first choice is going to be the Minnesota Vikings.
That's one of mine as well, but I've got four for each of these.
I my thought is but Harrison Smith's pretty much done. You gotta deal with just the nonsense of Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa. I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. I'm
Mhm.
still waiting to be right on Chris Ballard because um
I think Chris Ballard has some serious blackmail in the Ursay family. Like he has to.
now I don't want to drive into that ditch, but yes.
We don't have to expound upon that, but like
No, no,
Chris
no.
Ballard should have been fired like twice by now.
Pretty much. The rivalry's back on, but Vikings need something. I think you're in the worst position of anybody in your division by a country mile. It ain't close.
Yeah.
Unless Kyler's good, which I'm not ruling that out. I know he's better than JJ, so like
Yeah. It's an upgrade. I don't know how much of an upgrade.
it is an upgrade. But Minnesota, whenever Minnesota's good, they're just stout defensively. You need to get a player who's blue chip caliber in some eyes. I think McCoy checks that box.
No, 100%. Just not to derail the show too much, but Bill Self's staying at Kansas, not retiring. So that's cool.
Yeah, way to not get to next weekend again. Just uh man, that's probably good for you because otherwise that would open up a can of worms. You're basically going to find out what Tommy Lloyd wants to do, and once you figure that out, you get him. If not, you're going to get Billy Donovan, and either way, it'll probably work. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Carolina's sitting in a very good spot in the coaching search, no doubt about that. I did see someone cut up Tommy Lloyd's response to being asked about Carolina and Roy Williams's response when he was still at Kansas when he got asked about Carolina, and they weren't not similar, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's certainly very true. We've obviously talked about the financial issues at U of A, so like maybe that continues as
Mhm.
well. But that could work. But Tommy Lloyd, I don't think the guy's the most West Coast guy I've ever seen.
True, but he's also a Mark Few disciple, and Mark Few and Roy Williams are homeboys, so
Okay,
there's a connection there.
I was trying to figure that out. I'm like, he's been zagging and zagging. And
Yeah, yeah, they're like for a long, long time. It obviously at this point it seems like Mark Few's not going anywhere. If he wanted to, he would have at this point. And but long speculation was that he was going to be Roy Williams' successor. And obviously that didn't happen.
no, it didn't happen. No way. Mike White's not going to North Carolina State, so that's good for me, I guess.
Hell yeah, brother. And good for me as well, honestly.
Yeah, that's good. What's your next team up for Jermod McCoy?
Next team I've got, I'm doubling up. I got the Buccaneers again, man. Because yes, you got to replace Levante David. I actually think though that that they also need help in the secondary. The secondary has taken a step back basically since they lost Carlton Davis. Like we've kind of seen the decline in that unit, and I think that McCoy's the type of guy. He's a athletic specimen, but also like very physical when he plays the position. I think he's someone Todd Bowles would like, and more importantly, just kind of reading the draft board. I think corner is a position I would rather take early in this draft class than linebacker, where I think there's some depth to this class. Like you could get Jacob Rodriguez in the second round, who I don't like. Honestly, might be more ready to play in the NFL right now than CJ Allen, who is a ball of clay with higher upside.
I didn't actually have the Buccaneers on my list. That's pretty cool. But like, I never really think about them being that down in the secondary. I just think they're just kind of down across the board, and that's okay.
I mean, honestly, true. Like the only place they're up is quarterback. Like you
Yeah,
have the best quarterback you've had in a minute with the way Baker's playing, and then like everything else is on the decline.
100%. And I'm gonna go with another repeat for my second one. Let's go to the Chiefs.
Love that. Love that.
I was sitting there thinking about this. I'm like, who would Patrick Allen absolutely salivate over if he fell to the Chiefs in some way? But how did they get him? Why did we get him? Like, well, because he didn't play. But yes, Jermod McCoy feels like, a mulligan with Trent McDuffie in a bit, probably a better spot.
No, 100. I mean, that's how the Chiefs operate too. Like
Yeah.
they trade. If I'm not mistaken, like you drafted Trent McDuffie a couple years before you lost L'Jarius Sneed, who was a late round find. Like they cycle in. They don't sign cornerbacks to a second contract. They just don't do it.
I'll say this before we move on. Story time with Buhler very briefly.
Yeah.
My first day in the Chicago office in Uptown was the day that Marcus Peters got traded from the Chiefs to the Ravens.
Hell yes.
I walk into the office, and this is when Matt Verderam was working for Fanside as opposed to Sports Illustrated. He was like saying, "It's not happening. It's not happening." He's going back and forth with God, what's his name? Mike, or no, the NBC Sports guy, the Mike
Uh,
Florio.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Mike Florio. Yeah, yeah.
going back and forth on them. And I'm like, I think he's got intel, dude. I go get some sandwiches with Mike Allardyce, who now works for the men's soccer team. We
Yeah.
walk back, and Verderam's doing an apology about it all. We're eating sandwiches, drinking Coca-Colas, watching this in real time. It was a life-changing moment for me as a 28-year-old.
No one gets as heated as Matt Verderam. It's one of the most beautiful things on this planet.
He treats a Chiefs preseason game like it's D-Day, like it's Iwo Jima. Like it's
He
the
lives and
storming of the
dies, man.
Bastille, man. Like it isn't even sports anymore, man. He's treating it. This is like some apocalyptic shit.
It truly is, man. It's a joy. 100%.
Burrito stuff on SI because we are part of Minute Media, and let's keep doing that here.
That's right.
So I got the Chiefs here. Who's your last team?
The last one I have is the Jets. Obviously not at number two, but with the pick from coming to them from the Colts, 16. I just think there's if you're the Jets, take a good football player. That's what the Jets need to do because you don't have enough of those on your team right now. So like take a good football player if he's there. But I also do think there's a little bit of poetry drafting a cornerback with the pick that you traded Sauce Gardner for.
I like that. I didn't have the Jets anywhere. We were thinking in completely different directions, minus the Cowboys. So the other two that I had out here were the Dolphins and the Bengals.
Yeah.
I think
The Dolphins are in a similar situation to the Jets. Just take a good football player.
I think with the pairing of Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan coming over from Green Bay usually goes cornerback. Hafley is defensive guy, formerly at BC, formerly at Ohio State. That kind of fits in there. And the Bengals just need players.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, both of those teams are in the Bengals specifically on defense and the Dolphins generally. Like the Bengals defense needs good football players, the Jets need good football players, and the Dolphins need good football players because there's a distinct lack of those on all of those teams.
And we got 7 teams here. We're going to cross them off because we only had 5 last time. This is going to be great. So Cowboys, Vikings, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Jets, Dolphins, Bengals. Who's the first one to go?
I think I think I'm gonna cross off the Dolphins just because I think that Mansour Delane fits more of the Packers mold. He's a little bit
Hmm.
longer. He's kind of like he may not be as great of an athlete, but I think he has the traits that we've seen the Packers really target before. So like I just think that he fits more what they do.
I'll cross the Bengals off next because like who knows what they're gonna do, man.
Yeah.
Also, like just what are we doing? I don't even know.
I'll cross the Jets off next just because like I like the poetry of it. I think that there's probably going to be more impactful players at that position than McCoy. I like that's not a slight on McCoy. I just think that someone who can have a bigger impact on the long-term future of the Jets.
And I think that's fair. The only poetry they know is Jets, 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 which I guess is poetry if you think about
A fireman wrote their best piece of
it.
poetry.
Sadum iambic pentameter. Yeah, that ain't happening, brother. I'm
Oh
gonna
God.
I'm gonna cross the Buccaneers off next, just because I think there's other options out there.
Yeah.
And even though like he'd be a good fit there, I think you need to have a guy that doesn't have any injuries concerns right away. You need to have a guy who's going to come in here and make an impact. And maybe Jermod McCoy's like, yeah, I can run a 4-3-4, but I'm not playing. I'm not doing this. I got stuff to do.
Got some stuff I need to do. Um, I much to my chagrin, I'm gonna cross the Cowboys off. I like different iterations of the draft better than I do drafting Jermod McCoy. Like I just think that the draft goes a lot of different ways, and I think those ways are a lot better if you take a safety or you take an edge rusher or a linebacker at 12 and then try to take the opposite of that at 20. Like I just don't like yes, they need cornerbacks, don't get me wrong, but like I think that you try to address that in other ways, not this way.
All right, between the Vikings and the Chiefs, I got to make a choice.
Let's do it, baby.
I'm gonna cross the Vikings off because I
Okay.
thought about this. As much as I want this to work, there was a episode of Celebrity Jeopardy where they had the guy Jimmy Fallon playing French Stewart from like Third Rock from the Sun. He's over there, his pencil. He ends up putting it through his hand, like bleeds out on the stage. That's what I think the Vikings are going to do under their interim general manager. They're going to overthink this and just screw the page here. Brett Veach isn't had a bad team last year. He's not dumb. They're going to get Jim McCoy one way or another. He's going to be a Pro Bowler like year two.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense. And to the Vikings point, and honestly, continuing the Jimmy Fallon as French Stewart analogy, in that episode, he also gets every answer wrong, but has the confidence that only a white man could have.
Isn't that special? Also, my theory. I think that they secretly lock Jimmy Fallon and Keenan Thompson. They're just basically like in prison at 30 Rock.
Oh, 100%.
I have other ones too. I think Shaq's AI also.
There's no way Shaq can be all the places that Shaq is.
No. I don't. Do you believe if dinosaurs were real? Because I don't know. Let's drill, baby, drill with some Big Ten energy.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be nice for 30 seconds while I introduce this before I don't. Um, so Brian Day apparently was watching a Netflix documentary about dinosaurs. He had some thoughts that turned into college football. And he had this quote: some dinosaurs figured it out to continue to adapt, and some died. I guess that's a little extreme, but I kind of think it's the way it is in college football. The people who don't know how to adapt are going to continue to move on, and those who don't, they will die. So, as frustrating as all is, as much as we just want to pull all of our hair out and throw our hands up and realize this is all extremely crazy, you either adapt or you die. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's so tough. But I do want to say, the documentary that he's talking about is very good. I've watched it. I'm a big dinosaur guy. Love the dinosaurs. Don't know if I would use them in my coaching. Not sure that there's really any lessons that we can learn from the dinosaurs.
That's like saying video games are going to help you do better at math in school. Your parents are like, I'm not that dumb. It's
No,
just no.
100%. Like I, I feel like Ryan Day has at least like 1 to 3 of these quotes per year where you're just like, is he dumb? Like, yeah, like, is he just like a little bit dumb? Like, I think he's a good football coach. Like, we've laid down that verdict. He has a national championship. he knows what he's doing in this job. But like there are some of the things he says where I'm just like, there's one little peanut in that head that just like playing pong, just back and forth.
Hey, that man played quarterback at the University of New Hampshire, Southern New Hampshire University. Don't ever forget that. But also, like, he shares a lot of letters in his name. He's only got seven, and a couple of them are repeats. You know, we're talking about Mario Cristobal not being able to spell. I mean, this guy's not. This guy's sevens look like gammas, man.
100%.
Uh,
His Y's look like a I'm so bad at math. What do you call it? In algebra, what would you call like X and Y?
variables.
Thank you. Variables. Yeah, he writes Y as like a variable.
He doesn't spell WHY. He just does Y.
That's right.
Poor Quinones does just does Y.
Why?
Why not? I really have nothing to say beyond this. This is just like this is so dumb. Like this was like it's the heart of the off season here. We're seeing this like pop up here. Like, somebody had to write an article about this. Like I'm gonna like
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I truly do believe like to the point of like him saying 1 to 3 things per year that are dumb like this. Like it's the reason he's so easy to turn on if you're the Ohio State fan base because it's like we have like something goes wrong and you're like we have a buffoon as a head coach like an absolute like dude is like should be out here recruiting should be doing anything for spring ball but no he's at home watching a goddamn dinosaur documentary.
and they made an adjunct professor at DePaul University, Adam Rittenberg, published this on April 1st, 2026 at 3:23 a.m. Like, he stayed up for this awful holiday to publish this.
Poor
And
fella, man.
Rittenberg does some amazing stuff here. Like he's one of my whenever I see a good Rittenberg article, I'm like, okay, we can pull something from the chef for this, dude.
Oh, Rittenberg's one of the best in the biz. This is not a shot on Adam Rittenberg. Sometimes the
No.
job is the job, and sometimes you're writing about Ryan Day and dinosaurs.
What kind of dinosaur do you think Ryan Day thinks he is?
So that's a loaded question. I think he thinks that he's like a stegosaurus, but I also wonder if he knows which one the stegosaurus is. Because like it wouldn't surprise me if he thought a stegosaurus and like an ankylosaurus, the one with like the like that kind of looks like a big armadillo with a hammer on its tail. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he thought a stegosaurus was, and he gets those confused.
I try to explain to him what the difference between a pterodactyl and Archaeopteryx was, and that was he couldn't spell it either. You start with a pterodactyl, you start with a T, and I mean, we couldn't even get there, dude.
He does not understand the concept of a silent P. Absolutely not.
What if he wasn't actually watching a Netflix documentary? He's just watching the Land for time.
He thinks he's Ducky. That's what you're saying.
This is we can say this. So part of like fraternity pledgeship, one of the things we had a little tiny TV with a VHS. We put it in the academic closet and we had the pledges watch. Somebody had to be in there at least watching like every second of the Land for time. All of them.
Hell yes.
It was during Hell Week, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Can't talk. You're watching Ducky and Peachtree and Littlefoot.
Sorry, babe. Gotta cancel the date. Watching Littlefoot tonight.
It was sad. That movie's just really sad.
Yeah, it's a lot of sadness. It didn't end well for the dinosaurs. Gotta say that.
And it's not ending well for us having to use them to pump our gas now. I don't have a car right now, but like
Honestly, great time to not have a car.
but I haven't seen how much it costs because I just don't want to know.
I will tell you this. In the span of like 2 weeks, it went up like $1.70 in New Mexico. So great.
To pay paradise to put up a parking lot.
Adapt or die like the dinosaurs, I guess. We'll figure it out.
And on that note, he gone. Better yet, he gone on spring break.
Yes, sir.
I've been looking forward to this one all day. Just random college football coaches or personalities. Just no prep for this. Just where do you think these people went on spring break? And I'll start with this. We know Jon Sumrall didn't go anywhere. He went to his office.
That's right. He went from the office to the bathroom back to the office. That's his schedule right now.
That- that's my spring break right now, man. It better work out for him because that fan base is going to turn on him if it doesn't win.
Oh, 100%. You can't, no one's easier to turn on than a try hard. And like, again, we like Jon Sumrall. We think it's going to work out for Florida in the long run by hiring him, but he is a try hard. There's no doubt about that.
He tried so hard, got so far, in the end, it didn't really matter. But he listens to Linkin Park a lot.
Oh, 100%. That's his work music.
100%. All right, what's coaches? Anybody you think of we need to touch on?
Well, Bill Belichick, he definitely went to Daytona Beach with Jordan. She had some engagements down there, and so Bill Belichick is down there with all the college folk just hanging out. Probably trying to go on a recruiting visit without his shirt on.
I mean, he's a pretty simple guy. He goes to Daytona for spring break and Nantucket for the summer. That's
That's
back and forth.
right.
Doesn't have to think too much. And Annapolis when you can, but I get it right there.
Nantucket is for for the 72-year-old boys out here.
I mean, Kirby went to Lake Lanier. We all know that.
Oh, 100%. He never left.
He never left. Now they're the people that Lake Lanier's on top of.
That's
Um, let's see who else would be who
Jed Fish went to a Margaritaville. Just anywhere where you're comfortable rocking a visor, that's where Jed Fish went. And I can't think of any place better to rock a visor than Margaritaville.
no sir.
Actually, one of those Margaritaville cruises might even be better.
Take Margaritaville everywhere you're going, man.
That's right. I am Margaritaville.
I'm gonna put that on a even though it was graphic design is my passion with some jetfish. Like I am Margarita.
I am Margaritaville.
Lane Kiffin went to PC.
Yeah.
He's got a nice condo in Destin, but he does make the trek over there.
Yeah, after a hot yoga class to get ready for the day. Hot
Okay.
yoga class in Destin is just on the beach. You don't even have to go to a studio.
All right. Who went down to like Key West?
Key West. God, okay. Trying to think of someone who perpetually. Joe
Besides
McGuire. Joe
Joe McGuire.
McGuire went to Key West.
Jetfish is telling him about it and he went there.
100%.
He's just posting up at a Sloppy Joe's. He's always creating.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's got at least a dozen pictures with his family by the lowest point in America sign.
Oh, and speaking about family, Marcus Freeman went to Disney World.
Oh, 100%. The family man himself.
Took an RV from Indiana down there.
Brian Kelly, I know he's not a coach anymore, but he went to a Hilton just to make people park cars.
I'm actually going to share this. This is embarrassing. Um, I had a dream nightmare. We were both at it. It was ridiculous. Like this last night, we were at like some sort of function where it was basically like a Hall of Fame banquet. And it was a bunch of like C-list football people coming by. We have to valet park like Wade Phillips' car, like people like that, or Mike Shula, like people who are barely coaches but like really good coordinators and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like who's like a college football player, Jonathan Crompton, right? We're parking these people's cars, but the whole thing is like we're not like it's like I think you're like you know what we're gonna steal from Brian Kelly. So we go up in this condo and like I go up there and I get it and I'm like this is way too easy. And I woke up like, that's why.
Damn it.
I'm like, do you know how to drive stick? He was like, nope. It's like, well, we're gonna park this car.
We're learning today, brother. Let's go.
All right.
My last one I have, Josh Heupel went to Aberdeen, South Dakota. And in case you don't know where that is, that's where he's from. He obviously went back to high school. He had to show off the Letterman's jacket.
That is unbelievable. And I'm trying to think. I'm gonna get one more that's good. Uh, who went to Myrtle Beach?
God. Who gives off Myrtle Beach vibes?
Sam Pittman went to Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, Sam Pittman definitely went to Myrtle Beach.
Did I say in the previous episode? It's like Brad Underwood of the Illini is like Sam Pittman, but if he was just better at his job.
100%. Shouts to Brad Underwood getting him to the Final Four, man. I can't believe it.
There's a non-zero. I've convinced myself Illinois might be able to do it.
Oh, absolutely. That team's good. That team's really good.
I don't know if you saw this. Tennessee might have cursed Michigan.
No, what's the Tennessee curse?
Read about this all over on the NCAA division again, because product, self shameless plug, because that's what we do here on the show.
Absolutely.
So Tennessee has lost in the Elite Eight each of the last 3 years. I mean, it
Yeah.
suck, but that's okay. Rick Barnes did go to one back at Texas in 03, which is cool. But granted, this Tennessee team was like a 6 seed, so getting to this point was a huge accomplishment. So in 2024, they lost to the Purdue Boilermakers,
Hmm.
who went to the finals and lost to UConn.
Okay.
Last year, they lost to the Houston Cougars, who went to the national championship and lost to Florida.
Okay. I see where this is going. I like it.
So if it's fate, Michigan is going to beat Arizona. Tommy Lloyd's going to come on down and be your head coach in Chapel Hill.
Please do.
And if chalk prevails, Illinois is going to beat UConn, and then Illinois is your national champion.
I like it. I like where that's at. I see where we can have like I mean, the stars are aligning.
That'd be good. Plus, I think Yaxel Lindenberg needs to be humbled a little bit. He's just so cocky.
I also just like the vibe of this Illinois team. I don't know if you remember from like I think it was either December or January, but Keaton Wagler went off for like 49 points and they were like interviewing the team about it and like every one of them is just like cursing uncontrollably on microphones like that MFer's nice. Like that's the type of vibe I want from my national champion.
Brad Underwood gets in the middle of the square there in Champaign. He's like, belt to ass. We're going to beat a whoop today.
He just comes out like Michael Irvin.
I don't like writing about those articles because it makes me feel really, really uncomfortable as a human being, but I
Oh,
understand the
100%.
message.
Message sent, message received, message made me uncomfortable.
And on that note, let's talk about some more uncomfortable stuff with some local scouting report. So you went to Cincinnati to
Mhm.
watch the Boston Red Sox opening day at the Cincinnati Reds.
The
And
only game they've won to this point.
Braves are doing good, man. They're figuring it out.
100%. Braves are good, man. Shockingly enough, when the Braves offense is healthy, they're very good.
Yeah, Drake Baldwin, I'm glad he won in our rookie of the year as opposed to the Miz, because Drake Baldwin's actually the next Johnny Bench, man.
100%.
Yes, let's
Drake
go.
Baldwin's really good.
So you went to Cincinnati to watch the Red Sox, and I've got some other stuff here. So you've got two stories. I've got two. You go first. Enlighten me.
Yes, sir. So, first day I got there was the day before the game, just kind of walking around, exploring the city, going into a couple bars, this, that, and the other. I'm walking around, and there was a gentleman who, politely, I'll say, may or may not have had a home. I don't want to judge, but looked to be in that situation, and but nice as can be. And he stops me and he goes, "Anyone ever tell you you look like Wyatt Earp?" And I was like, no, but I'm like, honestly, that just made my entire day. And then I swear to God, I'm coming back the next day for the game and I'm getting there early. Obviously, want to get down there, have some beers and whatnot. Same guys at the same spot. I walk by him and he goes, Wyatt Earp. And I was like, you know what? That's just the homie now. Him and Wyatt Earp just chilling.
I mean, it beats being like compared to like Post Malone, which I think is
100%.
that's so awesome. Strawberry Cowboy. Let's really get into it like Tone Diggs.
100%.
This is my personality. And apparently, apparently my long hair is my personality. Okay. So on Thursday, we're in the heart of March Madness here in the NCAA division. I don't know what day it is anymore. We're trying to get a bunch of work in before we go to Germany here, what would be like a week from when this comes out. So
Right.
next week's episode, I'll already be there. So just think about that
In the future.
in the future. Also, Brett Underwood had a big, nice picture like this. He's my favorite coach. I didn't know he existed until like 2 weeks ago. He's great.
He's awesome.
So we go down to Emmon Park, which is basically about 2 or 3 neighborhoods south of where we live there at Virginia Island in Atlanta. And it was a restaurant week. And so all the popular restaurants over there have like tasting menus. So we go to a popular pizza place. It's the same place where Kim Zolciak stopped being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta because Corey Bierman and them had an incident.
Just a little incident.
Yeah, just go right down Highland. You'll see it. It's great. So this tasting menu, it's got two different sides. So like there's a $30 tasting menu and there's a $40 tasting menu. Three courses. If you order from this side, you get 30. This side's 40. We're over there, we're enjoying it. We're tired. We're tired, man. All of a sudden I'm sitting there and I feel something just pull in the back of my head like this. Apparently, this little boy got away from his mom and started pulling on my hair. And the mom goes, he loves hair. And
What?
just like young child could have been probably was mentally challenged in retrospect, but like just pulling on my hair like it's a tug of war rope. I thought like it got snagged on like someone's like hair clip, and I'm just freaking out. The Arizona State podcast is like, tuck it into your shirt, and I'm just like, I'm just beside myself. I've just been made into a prop at a pizza restaurant.
I'm baffled that the mom's first words were, sorry, he loves, or not even sorry, just he loves hair. Like, you can't get a sorry. Like, even sorry he loves hair is better than he loves hair. Like, we gotta, we gotta do something about that response.
She might have said sorry, but I was in utter shock. I'm just glad there wasn't like ketchup in my hair, man.
Dude, right? Yes. The kid just got done eating. You got tomato sauce all over his hands, like burning it down your
It,
hair.
it, it would have been fine if I did, because next place we went to church, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Honestly, that'd have made you fit in more at church.
And for the starters out there, that's the most unique bar in America.
100%. Um, if you are in Atlanta and thinking about going, I would not recommend it if you are the religious type. That's what I will say.
No, if you're religious and you love what's going on right now, that's not the place for you.
Yeah, you'll probably get booed out of there, more or less.
Or if somebody at Edgewood hit you with their car, that's okay.
One or the other, but that can also happen regardless of your affiliation with
That's
anything.
absolutely true. And now with your newly christened affiliation with Wyatt Earp, what's your second one?
Yeah. So apparently I narrowly missed like a lot of not great stuff happening in Cincinnati. I felt like Forrest Gump, but 5 minutes like early, essentially. Um, so the area around Cincinnati's ballpark is called the Banks, and like that's where everyone congregates for opening day. Like before the game, they have like vendors come up with like food trucks and beer trucks and stuff like that. They got tents set up, and then there's all the restaurants and stuff that's normally down there. And after the game, I was walking through the Banks trying to find our colleague Winston Wilcox, who had come down to Cincinnati as well, and grab a drink with him. And I'm walking through there, and it's already just like absurdly crowded. Like I'm trying to walk through, I spilled some of my beer on a poor woman because some like I'm walking like this so I don't spill it, and some guy just walks through and turns right into my beer and like knocks it like that. So spill that on a poor woman. I get out of there and I finally get in touch with Winston, and they're in another part of town. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll head out another part of town. I swear to God, not 10 to 15 minutes after I left, apparently the riot police showed up and like had like nothing, like apparently nothing major happened, but like everyone freaked out and just started running. I know my unlucky ass would have gotten trampled had that happened. Anyway, regardless, fast forward a little bit later in the evening, I hang out with Winston, meet his lovely wife, and then we go do our thing, and then we end up going our separate ways. And I'm like, I'm hungry. I would like to go get some food. So I go down to the place near where my Airbnb is, and I'm like, I thought this place was supposed to, like, this area of town was supposed to be popping. Why is there no one here? Get my food, don't think anything of it. Come back. The next morning, I see that 10 minutes before I had gotten there, riot police had also been in that exact street in that exact same area, clearing out the area. That's why there was no one there. So I am a lucky SOB for avoiding riot police in Cincinnati, is what it turns out.
I like to play ping pong.
That's right.
All right. That's wild.
This is a lesson. Maybe I shouldn't go places by myself because this is what happens when I do.
Or people on the other side of the river in Covington just cackling like hyenas.
Most likely. I mean, I think that's all there is to do in Covington.
That checks. My mom's next door neighbor is from Covington, Cincinnati, just the most like Kentucky, smartest Kentucky redneck ever. Just
Love that.
Kurt, if you're listening, shout out, brother.
Hell yes.
So on Monday, the Arizona State podcast and I had some time off. Worked 6 days in a row covering March Madness. We're like, you know what? We're gonna make a day of it. So we go down. We don't have a car. We go, and Dad will figure this out when we get back from Germany. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We've got the money. We'll figure this out. We just can't.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. The cute mobile is no longer with us.
We hate it.
We hate it. So we made a day of it. I picked your brain beforehand on Sunday about like when we recorded like what we should go do, and you're from a neck of the woods over there in West Midtown.
Mhm.
We go there occasionally, not as often as we probably should. We Ubered over to Silver Skillet. That place is unbelievable.
Silver Skillet's always gonna slap, man.
Dude, I got the catfish. It's the best thing ever.
Oh God, good catfish is hard to beat, man. It really is.
So we did that. We went to Putt Shack afterwards.
Mm.
That was also a lot of fun. Internet connectivity is not great, which means the balls weren't working because that's how it goes. And so they have like gym themed courses. You know, there's Sapphire, there's Ruby, there's Emerald, and guess what course we played on?
The opal. I don't know.
Amber, baby. Amber's,
Oh,
Amber, Amber is the color of our energy. So then we walk over to, this is where the real story is. We walk over to Monday Night Brewing, about 20-minute walk. They're doing some construction on the sidewalk. We walk by like the water treatment part over there in Hallow Mill.
Oh yeah, know that place well.
And we were saying like, you know, in a communist country, they would say like, this is waterfront property.
100%.
Something in the Eastern Bloc, just selling you a bill of goods.
The water treatment facility is like it's a roll of the dice because like most day I would say like 65% of days it's fine. Then you drive by or walk by the other 35% of the time and it smells like absolute ass.
Well, we were fortunate at that point. So we make our way to Monday Night Brewing. So since you've last been there, within the last year, they've changed locations. So their previous thing, they're basically making more beer there because it's gone more national. They'll host like private events there. Then down where there's a parking lot, they've been a new place called the Grove. And apparently it's on the Beltline, which in reality, they have like a little stretch of Beltline that could connect to stuff. That's like saying, like, yeah, I've got investors, which is me.
It could connect to Narnia as well. We don't know.
So as it is with anything in that part, because you lived over there,
Mhm.
that part of the city, which that's where Georgia Tech is, it's also a very industrial, a lot of like trains, a lot of like factories,
Yeah.
a lot of like industrial stuff that's in the back of an enclave. Like
A
you're
lot of
not
a lot of renovated brick buildings, I'll tell you that.
like there's one way in and out of this street, basically.
Yeah.
So a couple of drinks in, we call a Waymo.
Oh, hell yes.
This Waymo went on the other. We thought it was going to come near us. As it turns out, I thought being near us was on top of a hill on the north side by the Goodwill. So we missed it, and the Arizona State podcast is freaking out. Trying to run up there with no sidewalk, rush hour, trying to go to our next thing. We went to Lloyd's, get some pizza and crab dinner.
Hell yeah.
Adult adult Pizza Hut. That place is so.
We love an adult Pizza Hut.
So we get in the Waymo, and I thought we were being kidnapped. Uh,
I've not ridden in a Waymo yet, so I'm curious.
you know, one's a hit and three, so 1 for 3. So maybe I'm Freddie Freeman, or I'm lying to myself and I'm 0 for 3. I don't know what I'm doing in here. We get on there. We're like, okay, it's going to take us onto the interstate in rush hour, so we're going to do that. It goes over there. We're going around a roundabout like it's the Indianapolis 500. We then end up going through this like back neighborhoods and everything like that, by some golf course so that you probably put it on it. And we're going through there, and then there's this mom with like 3 kids. They're running out the road, and she points at us like this, like lead rider, like at a Waymo, like we're gonna drive this. I'm like, your kid's gonna get splattered because you're not a good mom. Also, if you live here, this is what you signed up for. This is
100%.
Yeah. Quit being a NIMBY idiot. So we end up like getting to our destination. Also, on the way out there, we had the biggest Chad of all time come out in his golf cart with his wife and her yippy dog. Literally just went out of like what basically go out from like North Highland to go on to North Highland and then go another street. And that resulted in us yelling some like very profane things at them from inside the Waymo or being held
Absolutely.
captive. You got to take control however you can, man.
100%. Don't come to the prison walls if you don't want to hear what the prisoners got to say, you know?
No, no, that was the time. But that ride was free because thank you, Rosemary, for doing that for us.
Hell yeah, brother. Hey, free Waymo is better than no Waymo, you know?
No, no, you got anything else or you move
No,
on?
that's all the Ohio energy I got.
On that note, let's get out of here with some just like Novocaine.
Yes, sir.
It's April Fool's Day. Worst day in our business. I hate it. You can't trust anything on Twitter or the X.
God, no.
So we took 6 songs that have the word fool in it, and we're gonna do this. And I went by chronological order of when they were released.
Hell yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Hell yeah. I love that.
So the first one, shout out to Aretha Franklin with Chain of Fools.
Yeah, we went with the Auburn Tigers here.
Yeah.
Because that's what their coaching tree has been over the past decade. Just chain of fools, man. Like one after the other, you're bringing them in and lining them up.
That's so good. Off air, I'm like Aretha Franklin. I said it like how I say Mike Smith. Tennessee Blue Raiders.
The Blue
Aretha.
Raiders.
Aretha. So I think for the line, it's like, you've had me on your chain for 5 years and I found out I'm just a link. That's two head coaches in particular. That would be Lincoln Riley and Josh Heupel. Just
Yeah,
their just their air raid of fools, man.
100%. Just, they're getting after
I know.
it.
We've probably done this song before a long time ago on 515 Day, but like
Mm.
we won't get fooled again. Let's do the Who again.
Yeah, damn right we will. Won't get fooled again. I went with Notre Dame. Won't do it, brother. Won't do it. Won't fool me. I'm smart to your wily ways up there in South Bend.
uh I won't get fooled again with the driver, James Franklin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we like the hire, but we're not getting over our skis with old James.
No, we're gonna keep in the right lane, go the speed limit, go cheap at 10-2. And I'm not gonna get fooled again with Luke Fickle of Wisconsin. I'm not doing this again. This guy's
No,
no,
100%.
it ain't happening, man.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Fooling yourself, the angry young man from Sticks.
That's Matt Rule in Nebraska, brother. You may think you're saving Nebraska football, but you ain't doing that. You got him to a bowl game, and that might be the best you're going to be able to do because an angry young man who can't stay at one place for too long is now in Eugene, Oregon, and think you might take a little bit of a step back now.
I love that. And I've already mentioned him on the show. The angry young man, that's Jon Sumrall.
100%.
And you're fooling yourself if you think you're going to turn Florida around in this year, man. You can do it in 2 years. It's going to take time. This isn't Tulane or Troy. Please understand this, man. We want you to succeed to a point.
I want to give an honorable mention to Jets head coach Aaron Glenn for saying that Geno Smith was going to lead him to the promised land. I don't think so, my brother.
Dude, I don't think he's going to even lead you to a safe way.
I don't think he's going to lead you to the end of the season because I think your ass is getting canned before then.
You're fooling yourself. And then also I'd be fooling myself if I wasn't going to be all in on the angry young man when he runs Lenore Sellers.
Damn right. I
Just
will get
going.
fooled again by that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he just can't see. He's just going. And what a fool believes.
Uh, he believes in Lincoln Riley and USC, and I'm the fool in this scenario because I'm getting really close to picking USC to make the playoff and being really comfortable with it, and that's not a fun spot to believe in.
No, that's a really good one. This is the ones I had to look at the lyrics to make sure I remembered it. So the first guy is a guy who's trying hard to recreate what had and yet to be created. That's Dan Lanning trying to win a national championship at Oregon. Because what a fool believes that's the best job you can have. You can just go to Alabama, man, and win a national title.
100%, just do it, my man. Like
Just do it.
he would win a national championship in Alabama within the first 2 years.
Yes,
Like truly.
it would ruin my life. But yes, that would happen. And the pre-chorus, I'm going to read this out. This is, she had a place in his life. He never made her think twice. As he rises to her apology, anybody else would surely know he's watching her go. That's the whole interaction with Beth Getz firing Brian Ferentz, Kirk Ferentz's son.
Oh, no.
Particularly the part is like as he rises to her apology. Anybody else would surely know.
Oh, that's good. That's so good.
She's good, man. She got Ben McCollum. She fired Brian
100%.
Ferentz.
She's a good AD.
I had a feeling that one might destroy you. Okay, we got two more. We got Fool in the Rain by Led Zeppelin, one of their last hits, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hoping this destroys you. Of course, this is Brian Kelly. Who makes more foolish decisions in the rain than Brian Kelly? He's like, we're airing this so bitch out. That's what Brian Kelly says.
I wasn't ready for that. Oh my God. And on that note, whenever we do film study, we'll go three wide. We're gonna watch the Rock Necker Hurricane game.
100%. God, oh, it's forever in our hearts and minds.
Uh, we got a Fool in the Rain with his visor. That's Jed Fish. He'd rather be in Margaritaville.
Absolutely.
And another guy who I think is a fool in the rain, thinking he's going to be a first round pick. That's our favorite transfer portal king. Talk portal to me, Keithian Bear Alexander.
You're damn right.
Why is this guy crying? Just tackle him. I don't care.
Right.
And the last one, Cody was been begging for this one all day. This one's good. Love Fool by
The
the
song
Cardigans.
bangs. The song's so good. Don't care.
Yes.
I I went with Ryan Day, our favorite,
Yes.
the Dr. Alan Grant you have at home. Ryan Day. He like I swear to like what we were talking about earlier. Ohio State fans are so quick to be like, get this dude out of Columbus so quickly. He brought you a national championship. You win 10 to 11 games every single season. Like, just love me, say that you love me.
So when I think of Cardigans, I think of Sweaterfest. It's PJ Fleck.
Of course, of course.
And this is just the entire exchange from last off season between Carson Beck and Hannah Cavender.
It was playing in the background of one of the Snapchats for sure.
There's a non-zero chance that he was conceived of this song.
I'd say it's greater than 5%.
You know, and I would tend to agree here with you on that, man. And this was episode 264 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter or the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at TheSizzle20. Follow the show at CFP False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. It's like it's a catcher's mitt. You can catch things like baseball or a tear gas canister.
That's right. If you're 5 minutes late, you'll catch a tear gas canister for sure.
There's 5 different ways you can have chili there in Cincinnati, which I don't think you chose to do any of that.
I did have because it seemed like the most palatable way to do it. I did have a Skyline dog at the game, but like, it's not the best chili dog you're gonna have, but like you're not gonna have the best chili dog you're gonna have at a ballpark. So like, why not? I figured that was probably the best way to try Skyline.
I appreciate that, man. You go out there and you try to grow. You try to grow in places. That's what travel's all about, man.
It's all whenever you go places, you got to try to adapt to the culture. That's what I was trying to do.
That's what it's all about, man.
I don't want to be the tourist, I want to be the guy that's living in the culture.
You are living the culture. We are the culture. We are living in a simulation because this is False Start.